Hi everyone, this is Laura, Head of International Expansion of Consensys. Today, it's honored to be introduced and invited by UDC to provide a keynote about Web3 Wallet. So I will briefly utilize this keynote to cover 4 topics that's actually, from my understanding, being in a trending status heading to the end of 2023, which are account abstraction, NFT as a wallet, seamless login, as well as Connect Web3, and last but not least, permissionless innovation. I want to, through this keynote, to briefly going through all of these keywords that may make things different in the next 6 to 12 months on one hand, while on the other hand, more importantly, try to provide you more insights about what's that, why this is happening, what is the initiative behind it, as well as what MetaMask has been contribute within these initiatives. So now let's start with account abstraction. I'm pretty sure that account abstraction is not something new to whoever want to get involved into a Web3 business, because this solution that's offered at protocol level is actually supposed to facilitate mass adoption. In a simple way to describe what account abstraction can do is that it customizes a user's journey to connect to Web3, in terms of user no longer need to remember their private key or recovery phrase. You can introduce, or any single decentralized application can introduce their own journey for user to onboard to a Web3 dApps in a way that, in their opinion, their user base are familiar with. That's why it's capable to support multi-signature social recovery, like what is being experienced with Web2 login solution like Google Login, Never Login. The login solution or the connecting solution, or in terms of a more technical perspective, key management solution, is actually upgradable. You can have non-native token paid for the gas fee, which actually taking the business itself independent from the price fluctuation of ETH or any other native native token of alternative layer 1. Last but not least, it can offer gas-free transaction when you want to ensure that when user interact with your smart contract, interact with your application, they don't need to pay the cost, as the project or the application itself will cover that. However, I want to highlight that before you consider mass adoption, there are certain issues or key factors for any not only dApps but also Web2 Connect Web3 need to consider before they fully adopt a account abstraction solution. First of all, it is an innovative feature today introduced in Ethereum ecosystem. Therefore, when we talk about mass adoption, it still needs certain period of time that considered long enough in this industry to ensure it is a secured solution before we talk about massive adoption, which meaning that hundreds of millions of users per day, hopefully like a Web2 super app. That is why today, from Consensys or from MetaMask perspective, we are proactively, having a product discovery flow about how to make account abstraction solution happening on MetaMask. And by nature, this discovery flow start from security. On the other hand, in order to introduce account abstraction, which means that each wallet is smart contract account, and even set up this smart contract account need gas fee, as well as it's actually promote mass adoption. Therefore, the environment you're going to require for your account abstraction solution is actually layer 2. Otherwise, it will be super expensive gas. Gas fee. The gas will be expensive anyway. Last but not least, you need to ensure that you utilize or you partner with a trustable infrastructure provider for the solution, for the account abstraction solution you're offering. The reason is being, for this particular experience, you need to have a paymaster set at the back end to take care of all the non-native gas fee setup, account setup, which is smart contract account setup, and last but not least, in any circumstance, if you want to introduce a zero gas fee experience to your application users, you need to take care of. The second keyword that I mentioned is NFT as a wallet. And I'm pretty sure everyone heard about 4337, but I don't think you all have been heard about 6551, because this is even more innovative features that has been introduced and emerging this year. So consider this being your electronic purse, but an electronic purse or e-wallet in Web3, which means that you truly see the purse itself as a ERC 721 NFT. You can give this purse to your friends, to your family, with asset or money inside your purse. Therefore, a simplest way to understand that is that NFT as a wallet can be used as a gift card or red pocket with tokens, ERC20 tokens, or let's say your favorite NFT that you want to give as a gift to your family and friends. But these can be more innovative in terms of this could be a gas pass, and whoever subscribes or purchases gas pass can introduce gas-free privilege. And in this case, you want to promote retention of your debt, or it's like gaming or social debt. I also have this brainstorming with one ecosystem partner that's going to introduce a racing car game on Linea, and Linea is a Consensys introduced CKEVM layer 2. So in order for let's say in order to make racing car to be on the one hand having key component including a grid engine as well as wheels, but on the other hand, for the racing car itself can not only participate in the racing but also capable to trade in the NFT marketplace as a standalone mode. NFT as a wallet, as a feature that's today capable to happen in the Ethereum ecosystem, is something they are willing to adopt with. We are through Linea to explore the use case or the adoption of ERC 6551. We have educational blog to introduce how this could happen and what is the value this capable to further improve the user's experience, as well as another possibility a wallet can play a role in a use case or in an emerging or innovative application. The third highlights I want to have is about seamless connection to Web3. I'm not sure if any of you heard about embandable. I haven't considered what embandable solution truly means, but let's see what is a problem statement we're having. Say today, or I would say, let me rephrase this. In the previous era, starting from DeFi summer, and I would say before the start of this bear market, most of the Web3 applications were built primarily as a desktop browser experience. It's also because most of them are not complex software, but help to facilitate the development of Web3 architecture one after another. But however, coming into, let's say, everyone is talking about mass adoption, Web to connect Web3. The projects now happening as a desktop application in your mobile browser, or even this is a mobile application. Or last but not least, it is a gaming platform that's going to introduce a Web3 connection as well as Web3 content. And that brings the problem in terms of, unlike what you have at the browser end in your PC, whenever you need to connect with Web3, you just call and activate MetaMask extension, sign a transaction or authorization, utilize your private key. Then this single two-step things capable to make a transaction or interaction happen on-chain. But that's not the case today for desktop application, mobile application, even game platform. And that is a problem statement and things we want to solve. We want to ensure that the Web3 projects, no matter which environment they are at, they will have the same seamless experience capable to offer for end user to connect to Web3, or in other words, the friction for onboarding users can be ensured minimized. And that's where we introduced MetaMask SDK. So MetaMask SDK is a library built by dApp developers. It first of all allows a secured connection as well as direct communication with MetaMask mobile application or extension. It also supports any JavaScript, Unity, iOS, and Android platform. This is not a tech workshop, so that I won't further go deep dive into how this is happening and what is the architecture behind it, but I will highlight the benefit in terms of it makes simpler dApp development as well as wallet integration. It ensures that it is secured for your end users, as well as it provides accurate data to end user for pre-connection. The user experience will be as simple as a dApp needs the end user to start their journey for Web3 connection. It will call out a QR code, and through this QR code for utilize MetaMask Mobile, the mobile application we introduced, to scan the QR code that will complete the secured connection or encrypted connection happening between the end user and the dApp. I basically simplified and list out all the support that MetaMask has been provided to developers for MetaMask SDK integration. And I just want to highlight that Enterprise Service License Agreement is available for MetaMask SDK. And the reason we make that support happen is because we understand when we talk about this particular so-called Web2 Connect to Web3 era, we want to ensure the solution offered by MetaMask SDK is not only satisfied developers, but also, let's say, tech companies or enterprise. The final keyword I want to bring to this keynote is permissionless innovation. And before I further deep dive into permissionless innovation, I want to ask everyone, what's your definition of Web3 wallet and how you see the product proposition of a wallet solution for today's Web3 ecosystem? And I'm pretty sure everyone have a different answer, because that's actually depending on how you see the architecture or the value chain of Web3 today, and how it's going to be developed, let's say, in the medium to long run. But and then the question goes, how MetaMask define wallet? I'm pretty sure you may heard about, we say that, well, wallet is a gateway to Web3. But how we define the gateway? We believe the gateway is in one direction in terms of any decentralized application can introduce new feature and add this feature to users who use a wallet to connect to your dApp. In this case, as long as the user opt in to the feature you introduced, there's already more comprehensive experience the dApp user can enjoy. Well, on the other hand, we still want to, especially within Web3, there need standardization as well as minimize of the friction for users switching from one dApp to another. And that is why combining these requirements or pain points or the future we are seeing about how a wallet should look like, we see Snap as a framework is something we need to introduce to MetaMask as soon as possible in order to promote permissionless innovation. Because a standardized as well as secured self-custodial wallet plus permissionless introduced features on top of the wallet is how we see the product proposition of a Web3 wallet. And that's why, as this slide described, each snap is like an add-on for MetaMask that you can install. And introduce Snap framework. It actually means there's a new way to build. And I'm pretty sure it sounds very similar, especially for Asian developer ecosystem, like a mini program happening a super app, super app. But I want to highlight that the difference we are aiming to achieve between so-called mini program on top of super app versus permissionless innovation in terms of add-on introduction on MetaMask is that we want to ensure it is trustless execution environment run inside the MetaMask. There's ultimately going to be zero permissionless by default, but the permissions actually comes from the end user end, including whether or not the user grant the access of your add-on or your snap to access the information they have or stay at the back end of their MetaMask. Depends on network access, disk access, as well as like in the circumstance, say when the user is capable to allow your snap stay at the back end of their MetaMask, the user can also allow the snap to communicate message of the API of a private server rather than on-chain data. So on the one hand, Snap is the only feature or framework that's capable to allow API connection for off-chain message. But on the other hand, it's also opened, tons of possibilities, starting from alternative way for key management, non-EVM chain support, and coming to UX in terms of delivering notification. Again, I'm not going to go deep dive into how Snap going to work. I want to spend the time about why as well as the reason behind it. So now today I think in mid-September we introduced the open beta of MetaMask Snap. Today we have 36 Snap available on this platform. I want to explain why we have this allow list. So we use allow list to restrict which snaps are available to users during open beta. Reason being, we also want to ensure user not going to overtrust all the snap that's been introduced permissionless, because we also need to ensure users' asset is secured when they access their wallet through MetaMask. Therefore, the snap need to be audited. The source code should be publicly available, and all this has been reviewed by MetaMask security team. In the future, when we talk about and when we commit to permissionless innovation, what as of today we're aiming for is to introduce a decentralized developer community to provide a credit system to Snap ecosystem, or to Snap to the Snap allow list, in which case users not based on their trust to MetaMask or to one single auditor. It is actually based on feedbacks, trust among auditor as well as reputable protocols today in this industry, and so on. Therefore, we are now spending majority of our resources trying to deliver this decentralized community to ensure ultimately Snap can be introduced permissionlessly. To wrap up, heading into end of 2023, early 2024, there's a lot of possibilities or a lot of features or product proposition has been added on top of Web3 wallet. That is a very exciting dynamic. I personally can't wait to see what kinds of innovative features going to be introduced or have mass adoption. Hopefully that's account abstraction in the next 12 months to onboard, hopefully together with a killer app, to onboard hundreds of millions of new users to Web3 across the world. However, on the other hand, it is also logical or theoretically make perfect sense when the crypto native projects has been continued to explore the boundary of what a wallet is capable to deliver, as well as how this is going to be look like or being interact with end users when the end user having their user journey. The most standardized feature of Web3 wallet, which is key management as well as facilitate transaction happening on chain, is now ready for this basic feature being considered as matured solution, secured experience that's ready to be mass adopted. And that is making me even more excited heading into 2024. So on the one hand, we think wallet or Web3 wallet connection is ready for Web2 connect to Web3. On the other hand, to further explore the boundary of wallet experience or the definition of wallet, how a wallet could be as a format in Web3, I list out the 4 possibilities or excited keywords for you to further explore. And I think the most important thing is consider whether this is capable to facilitate your project's onboarding to Web3. Thank you very much, and thanks again for UDC's invitation. Glad to make this keynote to the conference. I'm truly looking forward that I can attend this conference physically next year. Thank you very much.